Hey guys, what is going on? This is CardinalBird5, and today we're going to continue the top 10 series. This video is going to be a little bit different, and this is probably going to be one of the most difficult videos to do for this top 10 series. And today we're going to be going over the top 10 relievers slash closers. Now, what I think I'll do is I'm going to do a top 10 overall for relievers and closers, but I think I'm also going to go through my top 10 lefties at the end just to kind of give you guys some more ideas. So this video may take a little bit longer. I know the last video took like 20 plus minutes. I'm going to try to go through these a little bit quicker, but we'll just see how it goes. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and start with honorable mentions, and then we're going to move into the we'll move into top 10 lefties, and then we'll do finally the top 10 overall. Alright, so starting out for honorable mentions, Felipe Rivero. Now this guy's really solid. He's been playing up a lot lately, so he might potentially get an upgrade. But when he's playing up, his per 9s are amazing, low 90s. But we'll just get right to the point. This guy can throw 98, 99, 100. His slider and changeup don't have a lot of break, but this guy is basically like a poor man's Chapman. So if you guys are looking for a good budget left-handed reliever, definitely check this guy out. And I think he can make the case for top 10 overall reliever. Next, we're going to have a guy that probably no one knows about or ever uses, Tommy Kahnle. He has really good per 9s. He's a bronze, but he has really good per 9s. And he has 4 pitches. They don't have like a lot of break. The slider has a little bit of break. But this guy can throw 100. He can throw 98, 99, 100, and I mean that's really what makes him good. And he has pretty good per 9. So you could honestly make an argument for this pitcher being in the top 10 just because of his velocity and his pitch repertoire. I think at this point everyone knows about Carter Capps. His biggest downfall is he doesn't have a changeup, but he has that 99K per 9, 80 hits per 9. He can throw 97, 98, 99. Throws pretty hard. His slider and curveball don't have the most break in the world. But it's good enough, and he's really tough on righties, so I have to at least include him in honorable mentions. Another honorable mention is going to be Rich Gossage. Now, I really wanted to find a way to include him in my top 10. Unfortunately, he does not have a changeup, but he does throw straight gas, and his slurve doesn't have as much break as I would like. I mean, he's borderline top 10, though. You can make an argument for him being in the top 10. I just think he's kind of a one-trick pony, but don't get me wrong, guys. This card can throw straight out gas. His base is 99, so he's going to be able to hit 100, 101. So he's very good, but he's pretty much a two-pitch pitcher. I guess he does have that sinker as well, but doesn't have a lot of break. And I mean, maybe later on I can make a case for this being in the top 10, but I've used it a few times and I didn't have the best results. But nonetheless, this is still a very, very good card. And next up on our list is going to be the All-Star Brad Brock. This is just a solid, nice, budgety card. Excellent per 9s, 89, 90. Good control, comes with 4 good pitches, has a very good splitter. His splitter is wicked. You don't see a lot of good splitters in this game, and he has one of the best ones. So he's not going to blow away the opponents with a fastball. His fastball can touch 96, 94 to 96. And he has, a decent slider, but the splitter is really his out pitch. And I just really like this guy, especially for righties. Our next honorable mention is going to be Bruce Rondon. Again, same for Kahnle. These guys both are very, very usable even against good competition because they throw straight up gas. And I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but Bruce Rondon actually has a slider with 95 break, so his slider is no slouch. His per 9s are excellent. You're probably asking yourself why he's only a bronze. He is a little tough to control, but you also can see he has a lot of attributes that are low, where it doesn't really mean much in game. It's home runs per 9, clutch, the control. The walks per 9 means something, and then stamina. But the attributes that matter, hits per 9, K per 9, and velocity, and he has good break. This guy definitely excels in that, so don't let this hit 75 overall fool you. Jeurys Familia is another solid right-handed reliever. The problem again with him is he doesn't have a changeup, so he's kind of tough to pitch to against lefties. But I have to include him just because his sinker is really wicked. He throws really hard too. His sinker's at 95 base and his fastball's 97 base. Has a pretty good slider as well, so I mean this pitcher is definitely no slouch. Unfortunately, he just needs one more pitch to really make my top 10. There's so many good righties to choose from. But if you have a budget team, definitely look into getting this guy because he's very, very solid. And finally, our last honorable mention, and some of you are going to be disappointed that he's not in my top 10 this year. And some of that is due to the just late hits. And, I'm a big fan of the sinker balls. I still think they're effective in the game. Just my personal preference, I guess, this year is that they're not a pitch you can really rely on. And then I'm not a huge fan of what they did to Zach Britton's delivery. So I don't know, maybe I just had a bad taste in my mouth from using him in BR a few times. but he just didn't seem as good as he was last year, so I don't know if that's in my head. But don't get me wrong, if you're looking for a good left-handed specialist, he's one of the best. Unfortunately, he fell just short of making my top 10. Alright guys, so next we're going to go ahead and move into our top 10 lefties, and then we're going to go ahead into our top 10 overall, in my opinion, best reliever and closer. So I'm going to go try to go through these lefties as quick as possible. You'll also notice that some of these guys are not in my honorable mentions for best relievers slash closers in the game. I just don't feel like, you know, they have enough, you know, either velocity or per nines or enough pitches in their pitch repertoire to really be effective against both sides. So we'll just go ahead and get this list started. Starting at number 10, Glenn Perkins. Don't get me wrong, this is a very solid left-handed reliever, and if you want to do the Twins Epic, it doesn't cost you too much. It's a very solid card. It's basically like a poor man's Andrew Miller. It doesn't have quite the per nines, nonetheless they are solid, and he doesn't have the break that Andrew Miller has, and he's not as smooth as to pitch with as Andrew Miller. But that being said, he still is pretty dang good. He has a two-seamer and four-seamer that can, you know, throw in mid-high 90s, and his slider has 82 breaks, so a very, very usable card for a left-handed specialist. Coming in at number 9 for our top 10 lefties is going to be Jake Diekman. Now, again, he was in my honorable mentions. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this guy, and there's a few other things that are kind of holding me back from using this card more this year. That being said, he's probably my most used reliever in the game because of the events and BR, and I use him on my main account for a while. He has tremendous stuff. He throws a two-seamer that can hit 98, 99. His sinker can be 95, 96. His slider has very good break, 93 break, and he has a good changeup as well. He has 4 good pitches. He has a changeup that a lot of good, you know, relievers are lacking, such as the Wagner and the Britton and the Miller. They don't have that changeup. This guy has a changeup. But the one huge drawback to me with this card is the control is very, very difficult. That walks per 9 at 36. It doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to kind of overcompensate with good precision with your analog, but he really is tough to control, especially with that sinker. That being said, if you guys can get a good grip for his pitches and get his pitching motion down, he is very, very good on lefties. There's a couple other noticeable things that kind of hold him back. So I don't know, I have mixed opinions on this card, but I had to at least put him in the top 10 for my lefties. Coming in at number 8 is going to be the rookie Billy Wagner. Now, one reason I really, really like this card is the per nines and, of course, the velo and the break. This card is actually very comparable to the Diamond Wagner. The pitches are the same. I think the Diamond Wagner has 99, 99 per nines, but this guy has 98, 94, which is honestly some of the best as far as any reliever in the game goes. So he has the per nines working for him. But similar to the Diekman, his control is very bad. But if you can kind of overcompensate that with practice with your analog, I feel like his pitching motion is a little bit easier to control rather than Diekman. I don't know what it is with Diekman, but that sinker, I feel like sinker's a hard pitch to locate in the game. So when you're facing righties with that sinker, I feel like, for me personally, I hang it a lot. I feel like Wagner, he's really more of a four-seam slider guy, so the four-seam's a little bit easier to control and on the hands on righties rather than the sinker. So I give him the slight edge over Diekman, especially with those per nines. Coming in at number 7, and this is a card I haven't really got to use too much, but I have looked up his attributes and I've done some research on him. This is the Mets Wagner, and again, this one comes with a changeup. He doesn't have a two-seamer, but he comes with a changeup. I'd rather have the changeup than the two-seamer, and his base fastball is going to be 94 miles an hour. So that means he's going to be able to top out occasionally 97, but he's going to be more around 94 to 96. I think that's good enough, especially for a left-handed specialist. I mean, that's around what Andrew Miller and Glenn Perkins throw, and they can get the job done really well. But one thing I really like with this card is his control, and I think if you guys use this card from last year, he didn't throw quite as hard, but he had the better walks per 9. You guys can see he has a 77 walks per 9. This guy has really, really good control, so I kind of gave him the slight edge over the rookie Wagner and the fact that he does have a changeup, so he's going to be able to have another weapon in his arsenal to get right-handed pitchers out. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Rivero. Again, we included him in our honorable mentions for some of the best overall relievers in the game. His per 9s are good, but again, this guy throws straight gas, so I give him the slight edge over the previous two guys, over the previous two Wagners, I should say, because not only does he throw gas, he has good per 9s, not quite as good as the rookie Wagner, but he also has a lot better control than that rookie Wagner, so that's why I gave him the slight edge over those guys. I wish his per 9s were a little bit better, but this guy is still very, very good, and the fact he can throw 100 miles an hour basically makes him like a poor man's Chapman. Now, I could have very easily included this guy in my honorable mention, and you guys are probably asking yourself, why do I have him ahead of Rivero for left-handed specialist, but I don't have him in my honorable mentions? Well, I feel like Rivero having that changeup is more of a usable pitcher against righties. That being said, I feel like Butcher is just an amazing left-handed specialist. Yeah, he does have that cutter that can get righties out, but he's really one-dimensional against righties. Everything's going to be breaking, middle or middle in. But against lefties, you have to have this guy in your bullpen if you have a budget team. As you can see today, he has maxed out per nines. He pretty much has maxed out per nines. He's just one away with his K per nine. Control is kind of an issue, and you have to slide step a lot when runners are on because he has a very slow delivery to the plate. With that being said, he doesn't really have the best stuff. This guy really is carried by his per nines and his velo. His fastball can go anywhere from 94 to 96. But those per nines are really just amazing. So that's kind of why I gave him the slight edge over the previous others. Next up, we have Britton. He ranks number 4 for our top 10 lefties. Again, like I said earlier, he was in the honorable mentions. He has very good control, very good per nines. It's kind of hard to get righties out with this guy, but if you make good pitches, it's not impossible. But against lefties, he just really eats them up. So if you're looking for to have really good guys in your bullpen, and you have the stubs, you can go out and get a guy like Britton, go ahead and do so. That sinker really just eats up left-handers alive. It's very tough for them to read that pitch and judge whether it's going to be a ball or strike. And by the time they do that, it's usually too late and it jams them or it's a called strike. So yeah, he ranks number 4 for our top 10 lefties. And coming in at number 3 is going to be Andrew Miller. Either Andrew Miller. Really, the only difference between this one and the flashback for the Yankees is this one can throw his fastball a little bit harder. I think his base was 96 and the Yankees one was 95. But I really have had good success with this card over Britton. Last year, I would have preferred Britton every day, any day, over Miller. But for some reason this year, I'm able to get guys out. I don't know if it's because of how the physics are or how the hitting engine is just a little bit different. I'm not really sure. But I'm able to spot his pitches a little bit easier than Britton. I'm able to get that fastball on the inner half, and it's really vital that you get that fastball on the inner black and make people have to commit to that pitch. Because Britton, I have a lot of trouble getting that pitch called a strike, or I'll hang it over the middle and they'll just light it. So maybe it's just a lack of skill for my pitching. I don't know, but Andrew Miller has been a little bit better for me than Britton. So that's why I rank him number 3. Number 2, I have the 95 Wagner. And this was kind of a bold pick. I haven't really used this card too much, honestly. But the per nines and the fact he can throw really hard and the fact he has good control. This one has a lot better control over the rookie. And I know he doesn't have a changeup, but I feel like when somebody throws that hard with those per nines, he's going to be able to get righties and lefties out. It's unfortunate he doesn't have the changeup because last year I think he was the best pitcher in the game. This year not so much, but as far as lefties, I put him number 2. Just a combination of those per nines and velo. And the number 1 lefty, probably no surprise, Chapman. Doesn't have the greatest control, but he hasn't had the maxed out per nines. He can throw 100, 101. I've seen him throw 102. And the fact he has a really good slider and a changeup that all have 90 plus break, it makes him, it's just a no-brainer. He's the best lefty. So expect to see him in the top 10 as well. Don't let that be a surprise to you. So we're going to move right in to the top 10 overall relievers and closers. This is kind of a gutsy number 10 pick for me. Now, it was really tough for me to decide, like 7 through 10. Like my top 6 were pretty easy to come up with, but for like number 10, 9, 8, and 7, I had to be really creative, and I've used this card a lot, so I have a pretty good feel for it. So I definitely recommend you guys give this card a try. He ranks number 10 for me. His per nines are excellent. His control is good. He doesn't throw super hard. His base four seam is going to be 93. He can hit 95, but I just think this card's really cool because he has like a slow cutter that kind of acts like a slider, and it can just, I mean, this guy will give players a really quick bat, so he'll give them fits. The cutter isn't like super slow, I should say. It's like 89, 90, so you can also use it to jam lefties. The changeup is really what makes this card stand out, though. His changeup is like 78 to 79 miles an hour, so it's almost a not 20 miles an hour, but I would say 15 to 16 mile an hour difference from his four seam. He also has a curveball that's not too bad. I don't use it too often, but if you want to use that high fastball, low curveball combination, go ahead and give it a try. But this is a very, very solid card for like only 1,000, maybe 2,000 stubs. So I definitely recommend this card. It comes at number 10 for me. At number 9, we have Andrew Miller. Again, last year, I don't remember where I put him for my top 10 relievers and closers, but I feel like there is a place for him overall in the top 10 relievers and closers. I feel like he can get righties out, maybe not consistently, but again, it's really hard to rank, lefties, because some are better just at being a left-handed specialist, and some are kind of more versatile. That being said, the fact he doesn't have a changeup is disappointing. But like I've said, I think it's good to have at least like one dominant left-handed specialist. And it's probably, you're going to have to choose between him or Britton. It's close, but I give him the slight edge, so that's why I rank him number 9. Coming in at number 8, and this is probably going to be a huge surprise to a lot of people because nobody uses this card. It's going to be Benoit. Now, he has 5 pitches, and this card is really cool. He can throw 95, 96, he can hit 97. Has a good two-seamer as well, anywhere from 93 to 95. But a lot of you guys probably don't realize that he has 99 break for his changeup and he has 99 break for his slider. You can look that up on Daddy Leagues. So he has a very good changeup, a very good slider. And what's interesting about this year is they gave him a splitter that has a different speed than the changeup. It's thrown a little bit harder, so you have essentially 2 pitches that look very similar, but one is thrown like 5 to 6 mile an hour harder. So this guy can vary the speeds a lot, has a lot of different break, in and out, down, across the plate, whatever. This is a very, very underrated card. I think it's just not a sexy looking card. I mean, they have the freaking, he's on the Phillies, but they still have him in the Blue Jays, and it's silver. I don't even know how well he's playing this year. I just know he's one of the few cards that has 99 break for his changeup and his slider, and he can throw 95 plus. So I had to include him for number 8. Now for number 7, I'm just going to include all 3 Wagners. Obviously, I like the Astros Wagner a little bit more, followed by the Mets, and then this rookie one. So I'm kind of just combining all of them. You could call it, if you want, 7A, 7B, 7C. I'm just showing you guys rookie Wagner. As far as lefties go, Wagner, the Wagner cards are some of the best in the game. They're all a little bit different. And like I said, the Mets one has a little bit more control, while these two, the rookie and the prime, not the prime, but the diamond have a lot more velo. The diamond one, I think, is still the best because of his per 9s and velo. But we had to include a Billy Wagner in our top 10 somewhere. Coming in at number 6 is Asuna. Now, when I put this list together, I would not think Asuna ranked number 6, but I was really looking pretty difficult into the list and trying to figure out where I was going to rank these guys. And honestly, he just kind of ended up at number 6. I did not plan him. Honestly, I didn't even know if he was going to be my top 10. I figured he'd be like a borderline top 10. So number 6 is kind of surprising, but once I actually put all of the attributes together, the righties and lefties, I started to realize that Asuna he's really good. He gives me fits this year. I think people kind of overlook him. And again, he has some very good pitches. He can throw up to 97. His changeup is similar to Boxberger. It can be thrown like 79, 80. It's a very slow changeup, and he has the slurve, which is probably one of my favorite pitches in the game. And he also has a two-seamer that you can kind of use either against righties and on their hands or running away from lefties. Wish his per 9s were a little bit better. But I mean, they're doable, and he does play up a lot. As you can see, he's playing up to a 91 today. But another really good thing about this card is his control. So you had all those things together, and he comes in at number 6 for me. I didn't expect it, and I know this card's kind of overlooked as well, but this is a very solid card, and he comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Betances. Now, I know a lot of people think he's easier to hit this year. I still think he's freaking tough. If you really mix up his pitches, that slurve, four-seam cutter, whether it's righties or lefties, he obviously eats up righties, but even against lefties, you throw that cutter in on the hands, you can throw a four-seam away, you can spot the four-seam in the inner half, throw the slurve down and in, or backdoor the slurve. There's still a lot of ways to get lefties out. Against righties, I personally find him very difficult to hit. As you can see, he's playing up today, so he usually has maxed out per 9s. The control is not too bad for him, but guys, he has the best slurve in the game. I believe his slurve has 99 break. His cutter is also very good, thrown anywhere from 95 to 97. His four-seam can be thrown up to 99. Really not much else you can ask for, and he comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Kelvin Herrera. Now, I really wish his per 9s were like slightly better, but I still have to put him ahead of a guy like Betances because of his versatility and his pitch repertoire. You don't see too many relievers in this game come with 5 pitches, let alone 5 good pitches. He can throw that four-seamer, I believe up to 99 miles an hour. Has an excellent changeup. It's not like a hard changeup thrown, 90, 91. I guess it is kind of hard, but his changeup is not as not as hard as somebody like Chapman. There's a lot of speed variance between his changeup and fastball. Has a good two-seamer. Has a very good slider. I believe the slider has the 87 break, and his curveball is no slouch either. He has 5 excellent pitches, and I just love his versatility, and that just gives him the ability to get lefties and righties out. So he's usually one of my go-to guys early in the game if I need to get lefties and righties out. Coming in number 3, and this is probably going to be a surprise to a lot of people, I have to go with Iglesias. Now, again, I'm a huge fan of the sinker ball, but not only does he have a sinker, he has the slider, and he has the changeup. And then he has the four-seamer. His four-seamer can be thrown up to 90. I think I've seen 99. I think the base is 97. His sinker is more around 95, 96. His sinker has good break. All his pitches have good break, not really great. You can see that the 76 is his maximum for his break. I think that's his slider. His slider, again, has good break, not great break. But the fact is, I love his pitch repertoire. You can't really ask for much more. He has solid per nines, not the best per nines. And again, when I'm looking to go to a reliever that I have to get a righty, lefty, whatever. If there's a lefty sandwich in between in there, this is the guy I go to because I know he can get both righties and lefties out consistently, and that's why I rank him number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Chapman. Again, this is my go-to lefty out of my pen. He was number 1 out of all of our lefties. Can't really argue much with this guy. His pitch repertoire, his velo, his break, it's all maxed out at 99. And again, this is my go-to lefty. He can get lefties and righties out. So there's really not much argument here. I think the only argument is whether or not he should be 1, 2, or maybe 3. So, and we're going to go ahead and move on to our number 1 reliever slash closer. And the number 1 reliever slash closer, in my opinion, is Janssen. He has 95 hits per 9, 99 K per 9, so he's usually playing up. He usually has maxed out per 9s. He also has very good control. He has a new pitch this year, though, and it's a sinker, and I really believe that put him over the top. So you add, in my opinion, the 3 best pitches on this game, the cutter, slider, and sinker, all together with a guy that has a lot of movement, good control, and maxed out per 9s, and he can throw 95, 96. It's not a fun time for the batters. I personally hate facing the guy. Out of all the relievers, I probably don't want to face Janssen, at all. I'd rather face Betances or Chapman, honestly. He can get lefties out. He could probably get lefties out just as good as he can get righties out. I don't know which one would be more difficult, but he has excellent break control on all of his pitches. Honestly, don't even really need to use the four-seamer so much. It's a sinker-cutter combo you can use almost just exclusively, and then you mix in that slider here and there, and you really can keep your opponents off balance. But anyways, that's going to wrap up the top 10 list. Sorry if this video is kind of lengthy. I wanted to throw in some more lefties in there that I didn't really think were like honorable mention worthy for top 10 reliever slash closer, so that's kind of why I made a top 10 lefty list as well. So let me know how you guys are enjoying the series. We're probably going to move on to catchers next. So anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. This is Cardinal Number 5 signing out. Peace.